You will need solvent, safety glasses, gloves, 2 beakers, a 100 milliliter volumetric flask with lid, a variable volume pipette, pipette tips, an oil sample, and a permanent. The following steps are the same no matter what solvent is being used. First, pour some hexane into a beaker labeled hexane. Pour a small amount of hexane into the volumetric flask. Cap the flask and shake. This step is done to remove any contaminants that may have collected inside the flask. Dispose of the hexane into a beaker labeled waste. Fill the volumetric flask 50 to 75% full with clean hexane. Attach a pipette tip to the pipette. Adjust the pipette so that the correct volume needed for the concentration solution being prepared is shown. Depress the plunger on the pipette. Place the tip into the oil and then slowly release the plunger to draw up the oil. Remove any excess oil from the outside of the pipette tip. Place the pipette tip into the volumetric flask. Depress the plunger to dispense the oil into the flask. All of the oil may not come out of the pipette tip, and that is okay. If the oil sample is too thick to pipette, it will need to be weighed. Place the oil sample into a hot water bath so that it will become more fluid. Remove the oil from the hot water bath and check to see if it is fluid enough to work with. Place the volumetric flask on an analytical scale. Zero the scale. Using a pipette or some other method, in this case a disposable swab, transfer the correct weight of oil into the volumetric flask. Swirl to mix the oil into the hexane. Fill to the fill line or etch mark with hexane. Cap and shake the flask to mix. Use the permanent marker to label the flask with the concentration, oil name, solvent, date, and your initials. Congratulations! You have now made an oil and hexane standard solution that can be used to calibrate the TD550, TD560.